This is unbelievable simple. Oh, he's done it as well. 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the StarLadder America's Minor here live from Berlin, Germany. We do have that second game of the day coming up. Well, I guess second game on the B stream. We've already had 2 games go through. Obviously an upset over on the main stream. Furia falling to INTZ. Bit of a surprise there, but obviously kind of shakes things up a bit. Makes it interesting here, and that's what we want, Harry, as we head into our next matchup.
Yeah, right, because, you know, over in the game that we cast, we kind of got the result we expected, right? But that Furia INTZ game, that's interesting. That is very interesting because Furia, for a lot of people, would have been one of the shoe-in teams, right, to secure that playoff run. And yeah, definitely still are. But suddenly, you know, you've got no room for error if you're Furia. And, you know, that's a pretty scary spot to be in. Also, this is a squad that's been so used to coming into events being the team causing the upsets. They haven't really had to have, like, the same pressure where they're looked at as, well, you guys are the favorites here, so, like, good luck.
That is pressure.
And it is, like, a very, very different environment to be playing in, right? But now we look at the game at hand. And this is one that I'm kind of excited for because Sharks, you know, I've seen them play a little bit, and obviously, you know, they've got a few like names that have been around a very long time. You know, I'm looking at guys like Nuke, for example. He's like a very old school CS player.
Yep.
But then as well, over on the other side of things, you kind of have like the polar opposite, which is a lot of like fresh faces, a lot of names that a lot of people maybe don't necessarily know in Team Singularity. A team that for me, I've maybe seen play a handful of times, and that's kind of the extent of it.
Yeah, and this is a big tournament, right, for them in terms of, you know, trying to make a run, obviously coming into a very difficult setup in the minor with a lot of Brazilian teams who've already kind of broken this down before that first game. But, yeah, I mean, pressure really is on. And I don't know who is – I wouldn't say there's like a massive clear favorite here. I think it's just going to come down to who's done the most prep. And I think prep is a big talking point because going into that previous game or like after the previous game, we did see that – you know, INTZ said that they'd done a lot of preparation for that opening game, with it not only being a best of one and a lot of the time you being able to predict the map, but also, you know, preparing for the opponent on that specific map. Which of these two teams has done the more work? We'll have to find out. We've got Sharks, obviously, versus Singularity. Harry, who's your favorite?
For me, I'm going to say Sharks,
yeah.
I think that they... I mean, it's largely just because for me, Singularity is such like an unknown factor. You know, like I can look at the numbers all I want, but I haven't seen them play enough to actually know how these two teams are going to stack up head to head. So I feel like for that reason alone, I'm kind of looking more towards Sharks. I'm interested to see how these maps wind up as well, Hugo. I don't know about you. I seem to remember, I think it was Sharks versus Furia, I want to say, DreamHack Rio at the start of the year or something along those lines. And I remember it was like a big upset because Sharks were able to pick up the winner. I'm pretty sure it's the only game that they have on Vertigo, so I doubt we're going to be seeing it. I noticed Singularity, they actually don't mind picking a bit of the old Vertigo.
I'm all for that.
Yeah, I would love a Vertigo best of one in our second game of the day.
But
I know we're not going to get it. I know. Yeah. It's like...
Just want to break it to you, Harry.
I know,
The two maps that the Sharks don't play are Overpass, that's an Insta-Veto, and Vertigo, they have one game on it, as you said. So I can almost guarantee neither of those maps will come through. Nuke is a third as well. I think those are the 3 maps we're definitely not going to be seeing, but it is all up in the air. I think Dust is going to be the Insta-ban of Singularity, or one of. And there we go, the 2 maps expected, Overpass and Vertigo. Get out of here.
Now, where does this end up? Because, you know, I'm looking at this and I feel like, you know, it should just be another, like, nice middle ground scenario. Train's already gone, mate. Train's out of the equation, as is Mirage, as is Dust. Don't send us back to Inferno. I mean, all that's left at this point is what? Like, Nuke,
Nuke,
Inferno, and
Sharks have 4 maps logged on Nuke, so considering it's their ban, that's going, yeah.
So Inferno is...
probably what we're going to see.
Yeah, is almost 99%... Sure are, to be sure, I'm lost.
That being said, if you're Sharks in a situation, you've done prep specifically on Nuke, you know that the veto can come down to Nuke as one of the last few maps, considering, you know, there we go. I think we got some secret homework done behind the scenes, Harry.
It's certainly seeming like that could be the case, isn't it?
Yeah. Because that's the thing. If you want to play a best of one and you want to prep for the best of one and you want to know the map, it has to be like the best way of getting that map in the last two is it being one of your middle ground maps, and Nuke is that. Nuke is a middle ground map for Sharks, so maybe this is one where they've put in the hours, Harry, and they're here to show us what they got. I love the tank top as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
Get me one of those.
you want one of them.
Yeah.
You want to rep the Singularity. You thinking they're going to get to playoffs, Hugo? Would you wear it if they did?
I'll
How
wear it if
about
they get
that?
to playoffs. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's a good deal.
Watch it from home in your
Oh, yeah, I'm
beds.
not here for playoffs. Wow, really rubbing that in. I'll just be sitting there in my tank top. Nothing
It's fine,
else.
man. I'll be tank topless and at home. So, you know, I mean, you're beating me at least, right? So it's
I'm
like
beating you, all right, in my
Yeah.
tank top.
The perfect outfit, you know, for the occasion.
Oh, no. Oh, dear. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So, Nuke, Harry.
Yeah, great map. And honestly, you know, like I'm now I'm really excited because I thought it was just going to be like another, you know, like we end up on like some Inferno, some Mirage, and then I wasn't really, you know, it did. I feel like Nuke has the possibility to actually be exciting because we can see, you know, like a team that maybe. Even if, you know, Singularity or Sharks, you know, one or the other, I feel like this is a pretty even game. It looked like the GG Bet guys agreed with me on that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even if one of these teams does show up and look a little bit flat, right, if you get off to, like, a good CT side start, you can build up some rounds. You have some time to build that confidence up. Likewise, kind of over on the T side, you know that your better side is still to come. You can kind of wake up a little bit in a sense, right? So I'm hoping that we're going to get to see this be as close a picture as we're kind of painting it is here, Hugo, and that we don't have another blowout like we did to start the day.
That would be a shame. And the makers of the books, Harry, as you said, kind of thinking it's pretty close. 1.73 on GG Bet to Singularity, 2.02 to Sharks. Although that will continue to update as we get into the game and as we see who starts to take the lead here. Obviously, a lot of that going to be coming down to the side, right? Nuke, CT, everyone knows it, everyone loves it. So, yeah, pressure really is on that knife round. Of course, for those wondering as well what's going on the main stream, because we are running two streams at once, it is going to be E United versus Luminosity. That's a banger of a game. It's kind of similar to this one, right? You got one of the few North American teams actually in the Americas minor versus some of the Brazilians, and Luminosity is certainly a terrifying roster to anyone, really.
Yeah, you know, like a bit of a trial by fire because, you know, Luminosity, once again, very tenured squad, obviously. I mean, that's kind of like one of the things that I'm liking is like a very healthy mix of newer names in the Brazilian scene rising up alongside names that have been here for a little while. And it really does seem like there's, you know, a real culture around kind of bringing up talents and mixing them in as early as possible with a few of these bigger names over in the Brazilian region. And that's the thing I like. You know, you're not just recycling the same 10 players throughout, you know, a few different teams. Maybe at the top level, sure. But, you know, in the Tier 2, in kind of the rising teams, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Well, I mean, talking of recycling, it is kind of cool to see the roster that Luminosity have here, right? They got Phelps and they got Bolts, and, you know, and obviously the well-known names of Neckers, Steele, and Henny, who were or who have been here for plenty of time.
Luminosity is a deadly squad.
Yeah, that is a deadly squad.
Yeah.
Like Phelps as well. Like, boom, straight out of MIBR, straight in here, no fear. And I'm excited to see them, but obviously that's over on the mainstream right now. So do move over, just remove that 2 from the Twitch, and you should be over there. Pretty sure that's the links. Yeah, StarLadder ENCS. There you go.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even realize. I was like, remove the 2. I was like, what?
yeah,
You
we're
start doing
EN2,
some
Harry.
maths.
We're the second place. But that's fine. We've got Vincent Vedetta over on the mainstream. They are a gorgeous couple of gentlemen. And that's actually the reason why they're there, because, you know, casting's done on looks, Harry. Not really. If it was done on shirts, you'd win.
I kind of wish it was done on shirts, because then I feel like I would. You know, like I don't even think I was meant to be wearing pattern stuff here, but I just...
I don't think we're supposed to. It means we're definitely not supposed to.
So when I say that does just mean like a hard, like we probably weren't.
We got
meant
told
to.
not to.
Yeah, but then I kind of had to like message in, like I physically don't own an unpatterned shirt, so I've tried to like bring the least pattern that I could.
That's not the least pattern. If that's the least pattern, Harry, you have a problem.
Man, I've really been going overboard lately. You know, I've gotten to the point now where I'm just like brainstorming my own ideas. I'm like, what about, you know, a shirt where it's got all the functions of a shirt, but like none of the sleeves, for example, like
Singularity coach is wearing.
Yeah, like a shirt
tank
vest.
top.
Is that a thing, a shirt vest? I'd wear that.
Just buy a shirt or a vest.
Or just cut the arms off of a shirt.
Then you've just got a vest.
Yeah. But it's like a fancy vest for every occasion. You can wear it to the gym. You can
You're
wear
like
it
the
to a
guy who
wedding.
buys jeans and then cuts off the jeans at the knee to get shorts.
Yeah,
but at that
that's
point,
like a pretty sick way to make jean shorts.
But then you just have a bunch of fabric. What are you doing with that fabric?
I don't know,
Why
just
buy
spare,
shorts.
mate. Like,
oh yeah, I can build my own jeans.
no, yeah, okay, but here's my equivalent to that. You ready for
Okay.
me to blow your mind,
Do it.
Hugo? You know when you go into the shop and maybe you want an ice cream?
Yeah.
And you know, like a single ice cream is like £1.50, but then it's like a pack of 3 ice creams are like £1.80 or like £2, sometimes even £1, right? And so you look at that and you're like, well, I could get 1 for £1.80, or I pay 50p more, I get 3. That's the jeans
I've never
versus
done
shorts
that.
debate.
You know what I do when I'm in that situation? I buy 1 because I don't need 3 ice creams.
No, yeah, but it's, you know, you're just stockpiling ice creams for a future time. You're
they
just
melt.
stockpiling jeans.
They melt.
As long as you're boiling your denim, you should be fine. That's a pro tip.
Oh, the references are out of control here, Harry.
I feel like we're finally almost ready, which
Yeah.
is good because a minute ago the admins are still under the table. Oh, there's players in the server now. A comforting sign,
That's always nice.
as it looks like the majority of these tech problems now out of the way and everything's sorted. All the players are in. They're not causing any ruckus anymore.
Oh, having a bit of a nap, bit of a pre-game, get your head in the zone. I mean, he's already turned away from the rest of his team. He wants nothing to do with them, Harry. His keyboard is 90 degrees. His monitor is 45. What does that make him? 135 is the answer.
That was some pretty quick maths there, Hugo.
Not really.
Oh, just warming up, mate. It's not like you have a game to play right now.
Oh, yeah, let's not leak anything here. Are you any good at aimbots, Harry?
Literally incredible.
Yeah.
It's where I spend most of my time. Was that like
That was an official CS.
Yeah, that was 64 tick DM before your game at the minors. That is brilliant. I kind of love that. You know, why go aimbots for this 30-second break when you could just load into Valve matchmaking?
Nothing makes you feel more confident than smashing a bunch of gold novas in official Valve DM.
Yeah, but 3 of them are spin botting because it's free to play now. So, well, they've just walked off, which doesn't inspire me with much confidence.
We are going to
Excuse
be
me?
playing this game 3-on-5 today.
Can we 3? There's 4 people here, bro. There's 4.
Yeah, with the coach. Wait, were there four sitting down?
Yeah.
I thought 2 people left.
Yeah, I don't know where the second guy came from, honestly.
I mean, this isn't even.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is
team that we're
Luminosity.
casting. Yeah, but I'm
I'm down to take a look at these fellas as
yeah,
well.
let's fly around the arena. Check
Actually,
out
look, this is something that most people don't get to see, but look, they're
Ooh.
collecting all the... What was
mints.
that? Oh, tasty. Now, they're collecting all the
Phones, yeah.
phones because, you know, obviously not allowed to have them.
No texting and gaming.
Don't text and frag.
You never know what could happen, Harry. But everyone's sitting back down. Phones collected. Mints out. That's most important. That last one. And hopefully we'll be jumping into things in just a moment here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for sticking by here. Of course, this is day number 1 of the America's Minor here at StarLadder Major Berlin, or StarLadder Minor Berlin. It's going to be the major soon. Got to give it some time, though. Warms up. Of course, we've got the European region coming up later today. And I feel like, yeah, we could take a bit of time to talk about that if you want, Harry. Some of the teams that we're going to see, some of the matchups we're going to have, maybe your expectations. We, of course, have Group A, Crazy, Mouse Sports, No Chance, Sprout. Group B, Ancient, Big, Fnatic, North. I can't wait to see No Chance.
I mean, there's so many good teams in the EU minor to talk about. Like, it feels crazy that like the majority of these teams aren't going to be at the major, because you look through this list and there's just so many. You know, you've got like Fnatic, right? So much history with this team, consistently placing like reasonably well at events. There's North, team on like the kind of rebound from real kind of struggles. They're finally picking up the pieces. You got Mouse Sports, the new look Mouse Sports squad with Carrigan at the helm, Young Gun, Frozen, and Woxic. You've got Crazy, obviously just rebranded from Valiance and Co. They've been having some great results as of late. And then you've also got, you know, the upset kind of crew in the form of No Chance, Sprout, and Ancient, who have all been putting in the hours, all been putting in the work, and I think, you know, can make this a very interesting minor. And I always thought, like, Katowice was going to be the most stacked minors that we had, but then it's like I look at these ones and I'm like, maybe not. You know
what I'm kind of excited for as well is the minor play-ins, right? The third-place team. We had obviously a bit of a surprise back in Katowice. We had Windstrike and Vici win the Asian and CIS teams beating the North American and European teams, which was hilarious at the time because everyone was going on about how obviously EU needed more spots and these CIS teams taking the EU spots, and then the CIS teams beat the European teams, which is just great. But yeah, Harry, I'm going to pick your brain here. Let's play a bit of a game. Let's go over our two favorites. Or who are the two teams you think are making it out of each minor? Let's go through region to region, even the ones coming up next week.
Okay.
So for Americas, I guess we just both go with it, right?
Yeah. I'm going to say NRG and Furia.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that's a safe bet.
I'm playing it safe with that one.
Cool. Okay. Moving over to the European side of things, where are you feeling?
Mouse Sports and North.
Mouse Sports.
I'm going to gamble on North.
I think North is a great gamble.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, they should and they know they should and they always should have and they didn't. You know, like last minor. So,
but maybe they will.
I feel like finally North are going to show up and play some CS. And, you know, now like with Valder coming into the squad, it's like, no, not coming into the squad, right, but like new role within the squad, right? At first I was really questioning whether or not it would work out, but they've been looking pretty decent, right, since the switch up. So maybe kind of lit a bit of a fire underneath them as well, you know, like in response to how, I mean, they do get like a lot of criticism due North. Not to say that like it's not justified, you know, like in the sense of you look at the names that this squad has always had, and you look as well at not just the names, but like the players that they've had and given up, and then what those players have always gone on to do seems like infinitely better than what they were doing in North to begin with, right? So it does just seem like a team of like missed opportunities, struggling to kind of, you know, come together. And I'm hoping that finally we get to see that. So yeah, in the EU minor, Hugo, I'm going to say Mouse Sports and North, mate.
I'm going Mouse Sports Fnatic, but
I
like your justification. Yeah, I think there's a lot up in the air there. I think a lot of things could happen. Asia, Harry. I think that here's where things really go out the window. Things really get interesting. Any thoughts on the Asian side of things? I'm leaning Tyloo MVP or Tyloo Greyhound.
Yeah, I'm going to say Tyloo Greyhound.
I think there's a world where Firepower could do something. Savage Bottle, Shudapai, Viva, and I can never say this guy's name. Zhao Sage. That's how I'm trying.
Oh, yeah.
I can never say that name. But, yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun. We obviously have FFA Mix as well. Players that may be known, Synopsy and Juan Flatro, FPL players, and Black Eagle as well. So actually a lot of FPL players. 3 FPL players in that side.
All right, and then Hugo, what about CIS? Who are you feeling there?
Ooh.
I kind of feel like fours have to. Like, they've been looking so good as of late, and, like, finally they have the chance to come and play on LAN.
Spirit? I think Spirit's a good bet.
Yeah, Spirit over in Group B. I could get behind that.
That being said, yeah, I think this CIS minor is really cool because we don't have, like, I don't think we have any guarantees. There's not a single guarantee in this roster, in these two groups, rather. There is a lot of talent, a lot of mixed teams. Simon's going to be a fun one to watch. They always put up a pretty interesting roster. Torek is back, and he's joined by Ramzik and Neelan as well. We even have a Belgian player playing for Simon.
Is Unique? Is this okay? Right? Is their logo real? Because like, I don't know. Like, I'm not
Leave
sold
them alone
on that, man.
Let's move on though. We're getting into things.
We're in the game. It's beginning, and you know,
and it's all gone wrong. I think we're in.
And it's underway. It's not. We tricked you. It's all a ruse. The kill's coming in. I don't know what's going on.
It's just exit left up. 1 on 3 here. Nice shot to Hydrex. He's lost the bomb though, but he does have all the time in the world. I hate when players in this situation waste an opportunity. The more time he waits, the better his chances get in this round. The more Singularity question, has he flanked? Has he wrapped? Is he going somewhere else? So just take your time. Make them think that you've gone somewhere else. Make them think that you've gone to CT spawn, to heaven.
That was like a jump scare.
You okay, Harry? Exit's so good, man. He's playing with one hand on the keyboard, the other on the mouth. On 2, though.
Oh, my word. Look at him go.
Look at this swap. Look at the timing.
Yeah.
He's just hit the best timing in the world. He's going to be scared of heaven, but they're rapping Squeaky.
Oh,
He's rapping Squeaky.
word.
He's so confused, Harry. And I think he's actually going to brain himself here. I don't blame him. What an unfortunate situation. And Ryan's going to clean it up. Oh, dear. As he pushes out Squeaky, they push in hard. Doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, he was the yin to their yang, man, in that situation. They're just going around one another, and it was like a game of, like, ring around the roses, and ultimately, it is going to be Singularity picking up that pistol and getting off to a good start here. Hugo over on the CT side. And I feel like all the chaos that we had initially is now all said and done. Ryan setting up towards outside, and he is going to have players coming his way. Oh, well, maybe a bit more than he bargained for. Bomb tries to get down through the vents. And
this is the replay observe, I think, they're switching to. Not a worry. Luckily, it's a block round, so we can kind of swoop through it. Shouldn't be any kills for Sharks. Exit does find one. What? He just shot him from garage to main with a Glock, Harry. 2 pistol kills for Shark. How have they even made this interesting? How have they made this close?
I couldn't tell you.
Are you okay? You okay?
No, man.
Calm down, Harry.
I don't know what's going on.
There's a bomb plant in all of this madness.
I feel like we're having a bad trip and trying to watch a game of Counter-Strike.
I imagine he can't win this round. I'm gonna guess. Yeah, they're sticking the bomb. Okay, this is done. Singularity will pick it up. I don't think it gets sweatier than that when you're getting double dinked through smokes and a bomb plant against you on a Glock round. Sharks have made a lot of money out of that one.
Yeah, they just might have. They're feeling pretty content. I mean, you know, you only have Glocks and you managed to get the bomb down. Now this purchase comes in. They've got rifles out across the board. Singularity, they've had to reinvest on pretty much everyone, so no attempt at the bonus round here from there, but Ryan once again back with this aggression towards outside. Now he fell early on in that last round, I think.
Ooh.
It's floppy this time to hit the deck, J&T. Oh, Ryan's caught a timing here. He's gotten around that smoke and past the Molotov that fell to try and cordon off a player at red. Now this does mean that Leo is in this forward position and can look to split in through hut. This could both be a blessing and a curse now for Singularity. It all comes down to the timing of Ryan on this peek into the backline. He'll finally make his presence known, and Sheikh Zula going to get the hell out of ramp. As he rotates background, will he be ready for Leo Drunky still towards outside?
Oh, he's hit the timings inside of main. I don't think Singularity are going to be aware of this one. He's heard the footsteps down. Oh, no, the Kree. Misspray. He does get the scope off. And in the meantime, Sharks are down on B. Now they've taken the man advantage back, but with a player up in main, they wanted to split the A site. This could go very wrongly for Sharks because they've backed out of ramp and gone back towards lobby, but they've lost their split. Where have Singularity gone? Back up the vent. Hydrex is going to be in Squeaky. He doesn't need to move too far, but he might get a lot of info off this. Oh, too high up on the aim. Nak's going to hit the shot, and now it's looking like the A play. Singularity realizing, but are they going to be able to stop?
Get it close, but not quite. And Sharks getting onto the board early on. Actually, no money left for Singularity, so you kind of have to invest into this round.
I think that rotate was so close to actually hurting Sharks more than it helped them, right? They had B under control. There was one player down in secret with an SMG, but, I mean, that's fine. If you've got down ramp, you can usually take the B site with ease, especially in a 3-on-3. But Sharks, the second they lost Leo, they decided to commit with the rotation. That's when things got a little bit worrying, but at least they are able to clean it up. And like you say, Harry, the force is in.
Yeah, just silence immediately, Sharks. You know, making their presence known in towards lobby, but still yet to peek into anything. Hydrax and Floppy do lie in wait. Leo Drunky just holding towards outside. He's now going to have players moving up alongside him here. Obviously, lots of noise made over in the lobby initially, so only one man back in CT spawn to try and keep an eye on this outside portion of the map. That is going to be Ryan with the scout, now rotating around. Looking like he might just go for an immediate B rotation here. And that might be the right call to make. These outside smokes allowing Sharks to get into secret. 45 seconds left, so still time to change their minds, but this is looking like a B play.
Yeah, sizable rotation though. 2 players are already down here, so this could be interesting. 30 seconds, they could try and delay this bomb plant fairly well. OC committed in the corner. He's got a teammate with a crossfire as well. That decon door is not being watched, however, so that's going to be the point of engagement for Sharks. Through the window, OC gets one. Oh, Ryan's going to follow up the scout. This is getting close, but the trades are in for Sharks. 3-on-2 now taken as Exit finds Ryan down ramp, and this is looking done. It's only Floppy, 1-on-3. Does manage to drop one. 11 seconds, that's the bomb as well. Floppy can still win this, but he's not going to be able to. JNT down on 8 points of health planting. And Sharks, they have found their round.
See, if we were still in the era of when you had to put your like nationality in front of your name, Exit's name would be Brexit, which I think would just be quality. And I'm kind of sad that that's not a thing. But yeah, I mean, a second round for Sharks. They're already arriving to the plate nice and, you know, showing us some of that like Brazilian aggression that we wanted to see. But it's very measured, you know. They're not being careless. They're not being reckless. This round, they try and throw in a bit more of a disrespect play in towards the A bombs, like just a Hail Mary. They blow out Squeaky. JNT does get past the man. Look at him go. He's got some running shoes on him. We'll spot out the first over in the credit card slot.
That's actually super sick. Like I wonder if you could ever get away with that in a rifle round, like getting your double smoke down in main and splitting your squeaky player into yard. If you can do that without getting spotted, you can get into heaven so quick, and you can pass a garage player. In theory, I've never seen that done. But in theory, that's a really cool play. Let's see if Sharks decide to do that again this game in a more important round, because it is just USP, so Singularity couldn't really lock it down if they tried. And it is over. 5 players surviving, 3 rounds here for Sharks. Great T-side start, but we got to buy back on the cards.
And one of the things that I think is just a great sign is Leo Drunky getting off to a blinding start here for Sharks. Now, he's someone who, for me, has always been like the standout player within this team to keep an eye on, but at the same time does seem to have some issues with consistency, right? I seem to remember, I can't actually remember what event it was that I cast him at, but he was like having these phenomenal games, and then it came to like when it really mattered, and he went like 0-10 or something like that. But once again, they get 4 players down through the vents within the opening 10 seconds of the round. This B bomb site is already under the control of Sharks. The bomb plant coming in. I've not seen a bomb plant this speedy in a long while, and it's a 5v5 retake. Singularity, how are they going to get back into this bomb site?
Oh, that's a nice Molotov. It forces Ryan's hand. The trade is there, though. Still a player in the yard. Floppy's going to try and deal with him. He will spray, connecting the shots as well. Singularity now have that advantage back, but with 2 low HP players walking into a double setup down in the secret, this should be a slaughter, Harry, and it is. Oh, trade from Floppy, fair enough. Keeping it in the 2-on-2, but they need to stick the bomb, and they don't have a kit to do it. No smoke either. Surely their time is up. Shake Zilla spraying away does get 1, but that is a done round. And a great play from Sharks as well, right? They knew that Singularity didn't have Molotovs. Those CTs went into that rifle round with 4,400 each, so not a single Molotov on that CT side, and it's just abused. Sharks get down the vents immediately, and with so many flashbangs coming into A, there was nothing Singularity could do to stop it. Sharks now favored in the GG bet odds. Oh, how the tables have turned.
Singularity looking a little lost in these last few rounds. And in a way, it's like I can't blame them because what Sharks have been doing is hardly conventional. But I mean, at the same time, you know, if in a full buy round, you're not able to stop 4 players from vent diving, maybe we need to see a bit more utility usage from Singularity early on. I mean, a very, very clean anti-eco there from the Sharks.
And this is kind of what we talked about before, right? Like if Sharks are happy to take this map at a best of 1 in the opening game, and it's not a map they frequent, they've got to have done their homework.
Yeah,
and
100%.
They certainly look like they have.
They really do, and it looks like they're one step ahead of Singularity almost all the time, right? Like everything seems so purposeful.
Yeah.
Every nade that you see gets thrown like has a reason. Every noise that's getting made by Sharks is to try and draw someone in. You know, even if you think back to that round where they showed all that presence in the lobby for like the first 20 seconds, they're just firing shots through Squeaky, through the hut, and then all 5 players rotate towards outside and then just throw the wall of smokes, and it all culminates in the B play. They seem like they've read up on Singularity here, Hugo. I think you really did hit the nail on the head with that as we came into this in the map veto.
Luckily, though, this is a buy round with everything for Singularity. They've got kits, they've got the AWP, they have Molotov. So assuming they can slow down the immediate play from Sharks, maybe we're going to have a different change, a chance for Singularity to show us what they've got on the city side. Again, lots of utility thrown early, and the vent smoke as well. Look at this pace. RCF coming in from the main roof. He's going to get shut down. Leo Drunky with a trade, who will try and push into the A side. This time, Singularity are ready. Pressure on A early, and Floppy wins his duel. That is so important. 4 on 2 now. If they lost that fight, Sharks could have still barreled into the A bomb site, but now they've got to slow it down.
Oh, JNT in hell. Look at this position. He keeps on crawling forward. And Sheikh Zula has absolutely no idea over here at ramp, but he just stopped shallow, just shy of this peak. If he gets punished now, deciding to go for the heaven play, he hears the drop. JNT gets the information. He's caught the timing. This could be so huge, but Exit gets discovered before JNT is able to come in on his master flank.
JNT has gone everywhere but where the opponents are.
And now, I mean, he's taken so long. Yeah, they're posted up. They're ready. They're waiting for that heaven peak. And Floppy will get rewarded with it. And that's always the horrible thing about those flanks. You know, if you're JNT, you know that you're on a timer, essentially, right? There's only going to be the next 20, 30 seconds where if they haven't seen you, they don't anticipate this man in the back, right? And as that time kind of is ticking away from him, you see the pressure getting to him, like desperately just looking for anything, any small advantage that he can find.
If only he saw Sheikh Zula on ramp, because like A was triple stacked there for Singularity, but if he gets that ramp pick, his teammate can just come down through radio and they can hit B and have a good chance. But yeah, he got very unfortunate there. RCF, oh my, that's so close. Can he see? No, just about missing. Smoke down on ramp. Sharks do a great job of eliminating knowledge, eliminating information from Singularity. You can see Sheikh Zilla, he doesn't want to drop to B because that would affect the entire setup of his team, but he also doesn't know if there's 3 players on the other side of that smoke. Just creating a sense of unknown, and it does force adjustments, force rotations here from Singularity. They lose yard. Ryan goes inside main, just trying to watch the cross, and that's when Sharks pull outside. Yeah, it honestly seems like Sharks have just read Singularity so well here. They use the ramp smoke to force the outside player back into main, and now they're moving through yard.
This time Ryan's very preemptive in his rotation. He's already set up, and he will spot these players pushing in through secret. Ryan dropping that smoke, and lies in wait now on the other side. Tries to bide his time, but he'll get sprayed down through it. Ooh. Quick appearance there over towards the ramp. The AWP finally rearing its head. OC trying to hold the angle. Molotov down on the right side. Smoke on the left. Everywhere he turns, there's smoke, there's flames. That bomb goes down, and 4 on 5 now. Singularity, they might just bow out of this round.
I don't really blame them as well. It kind of sucks to see, but, you know, down a man with Sharks already having established post-plant, Singularity not having a single player on B. Sure, they could have won that, but the chances weren't looking too good. And considering we're 8 rounds deep and this is the best buy they've had, they want it again, Harry. They want more Molotovs and they want more rifles behind it. So, yeah, a save coming through. Hydrex is going to drop a gun over to Ryan and they're going to have a full buy, but certainly not looking too positive. This has been a really, really strong start for Sharks. as you said, I think you really made a good point earlier when you said everything they do looks like it has a plan behind it. And I think that's certainly looking true right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing from Singularity, right? We haven't really seen much of a change. You know, so often, like a team, you'll see they'll put in so much homework, they'll speak about how much research they've done, and then when the game happens on the day, the opponent should play like a completely different style of CS, right? And it almost feels like all your preparation wasn't necessarily for nothing, because you're making them play a different brand of CS, right? But it's not what you prepared for, so it's like it's still advantageous. But the thing is now, Singularity, they haven't really been switching this up, right? It's similar sort of setup every round. Obviously, it's CT side Nuke. It's hard to get too creative. But finally, we do have a bit of a change. We have Ryan once again down at that B bomb site. This time, he goes there immediately on the back of his spawn. He sets up down at B, and he's going to post himself up over in secret.
That's important considering how many times Sharks have gone for these wall of smokes, gotten into the yard, but right now no one's outside. They're all just in the lobby, and Hydrax getting shot through the smoke. Not the start they wanted. Ryan does win his duel, and OC's coming through the bottom secret as well, but they've actually lost B at the same time. Sharks got a player down vents now. I think Floppy should have seen that. Pretty sure, but no one's rotating to get into position. OC is. He might get caught down lower. Yeah, he seems like he will. RCF's ready for it, and that is very unfortunate for Singularity. They've now lost B. They've lost ramp. Sharks splitting 3 players down, and another 4-on-3 post plan. Does Singularity even go for this? That's the wonder.
Yeah, I mean, once again, it's one of these situations where Singularity, they want to save, but you know, you kind of keep ending up in these situations where you're just bowing out of rounds, and eventually you have to attempt it. This round, they don't even give it a look in, and they still lose 2 players there at the end. That is the most heartbreaking outcome that they could have had. You make that decision to cool it off. You try and cut your losses.
I don't think it didn't seem like they completely bailed in that 3-on-4. They were looking at secret at least. They just got caught. Sharks just had aggressive post plants. So maybe they were considering it like one of those rounds where you go, okay, if we get the next kill, we'll go. If we lose a player, we'll save. But yeah, they lost 2. It's not what you want. This is a very strong T-side for Sharks. But at least the money is there for Singularity, starting to build a bit of a bank off of these saves. Yeah, I mean, look, they were going towards secret. They were considering it, but it was kind of doomed from the start, Harry. CT timeout, good time for it. Let's see what Singularity can fix.
Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting for someone on Singularity to shake me awake and, you know, like really get me believing in this CT side once again.
Yeah.
Floppy so far has been the closest we've kind of had to that. We've had a few like nice moments as well from Ryan taking that outside aggression. I wouldn't mind seeing him even try and move back to that. It's been one of the most kind of reliably successful things that Singularity have had to work with in a lot of these rounds. So maybe we'll get to see a bit more of him towards outside.
That's a great way to counter the lack of info that they've had in a lot of other plays, but maybe we'll get to this in a sec because Naka's, oh, he's got down vents again. But I mean, the point I was going to make was like, if you, like the amount of time Sharks are getting players into positions that Singularity aren't aware of, a great way to combat that is by getting aggressive and getting more info elsewhere. Ryan tries to do so down vents, but hey, Nak's already here.
Yeah, and this is like the 5th or 6th round that we've seen a player get through those vents unscathed for Sharks. So, you know, setting a bit of a worrying tone.
Yeah.
So often these vent drops are normally just kind of relegated to you know, like force buy rounds and stuff like that, right? In like a last-ditch attempt, or maybe you just throw maybe 2 or 3 vent drops in a half, right? Yeah. Sharks just doing it reliably and getting away with it every single time. Sets a bit of a worrying tone, but they get this B bomb site. Finally, there's some form of equalizer from Shakezula, putting them back into this 4-on-4, making this look doable. All 4 players retaking from ramp. Flashbangs are in. The first kill comes through. The Molotov forcing J&T out into the open. And one by one, Sharks are getting shut down. Nak's going to fall shortly after. And now it's Exit left in this 1v4 alone. No one on the bomb just yet. Actually, no, Shakespeare is sticking it. So Singularity going to find the round. And Exit not even given a chance there.
Surprised he doesn't even peek through that smoke or go for something. He had 16k in a 1-on-4. Like, you may as well try and make the money rough for Singularity. If he gets 2 kills there, it makes so much difference. So, yeah, surprising. Maybe Exit didn't realize they were already on the bomb. Regardless, it's a round for Singularity. Finally something done on the CT side. A retake on B as well with a man down. That's very important considering how, how these B sites have been going so favorably for Sharks. Orbs are out now as well, 1 per team. JNT's on his. So Sharks may be opting to slow things down a little bit. I like that. Gone for a lot of very, very quick paced rounds. That being said, this could be the change that benefits Singularity. You can see Ryan is back in the yard. Sharks are waiting for this aggression that caught them out a few rounds ago. But luckily, Ryan isn't biting. Oh, this is a risky cross, but he's going to get it.
Yeah, just about managing to dodge Leo Drunky for the time being. Although he's gotten close to Mini, and they're not able to keep an eye on this, so you have to watch out. Sheikh Zula, we're finally starting to see him come to life over here towards ramp. Leo now emerging towards outside. He's already close. He's nearby. A hop, skip, and a jump. SG, the Krieg roaring to life. More players coming his way. And get away from Leo. Finally, they shut him down. But he's done so much in this round. Just Floppy and OC left standing, 2v3.
Harry, he had 5 players dedicated to just him.
Yeah.
5 players. Everyone on Singularity was focused on Leo there. In the meantime, by the way, guys, bombs planted. Sharks have taken B. And Singularity, they've got to go, but they're not going to get past the first man or the second. Both of them getting kills, and Sharks shutting it down. What on earth is that? This is so exciting to watch. This is so much fun. Sharks are making this game incredibly entertaining, and I can't help but feel bad for Singularity in some of these situations.
Yeah, I mean, it does just seem like, you are catching a couple of unfavorable timings if you're Singularity. And sometimes games just can kind of start to feel like that against you, right? You get into the rut of, always finding yourself.
But what they are, I agree. They are definitely unfavorable timings. They are timings that are being forced by Sharks. You don't get those unfavorable timings if Sharks aren't trying to put you in those situations. Sharks are very much abusing the vent dives, the yard wraps, the amount of times that they're getting players around hell. And now it's looking like they're going for an A burst.
Oh, Ryan just getting deleted. These Kriegs are deadly. Floppy, it was him with the triple kill A defense that saved a round for Singularity earlier on, and he's looking to do that once again. He's dropped the bomb out in the open with a double kill here. JNT just had to pump the brakes and wait back over towards Squeaky. Leo's outside, but they know he's here. He was the man to pick up Ryan earlier on in the round. So they've got a decent idea as to where this last man resides. JNT's been spotted, so Floppy now knows the whereabouts of at least one of these players. Smoke dropped over towards Mini, and a part of me wonders if maybe that's to give the illusion that Leo Drunky's headed in towards heaven. And you can see that Sheikh Zul is keeping an eye on this exact position. OC dropped. It's the man hidden by the vent that will now get taken out by JNT down to the 1v1. And he's getting away from A, down through the vents. These Brazilians have not left the vents alone, and now they've got control of the B bomb site. JNT going to tap the bomb. Sheikh Zula running into the bomb site. Bomb goes down, seconds to spare.
Oh, no.
Scope close, and he gets dropped. Singularity, a 5th round, and the accidental double scope from JNT. And that just threw everything off. You could see like that moment of panic, the realization.
What an attempt, though, from Sharks. What a nice try in that 2-on-3, right? Flashing Leo Drunky through that smoke. They didn't even know Floppy was there. That's the funny part. When I think it was JNT and Squeaky got flashed off, he got shot at by Floppy behind vents, but he just never saw him because he was blind. So that information was never Sharks' to play with, and they still get the kills. Singularity winning the round, and as you said, Sheikh Zula stepping it up in the last few. He wins that clutch. not a great start in this one. JNT finding an opening kill towards Squeaky. He will get traded immediately after, but that's opened up the yard. He's killed the outside player, or at least the main player, so Leo coming quick in through. He's been so annoying in the main position, and Hydrex is going to find out why. Getting caught in the open, RCF with another opener, and that's a 9th round, Harry. Like it or not, Sharks have done it. Singularity, the amount of times they've been caught out from Leo in the yard is quite ridiculous. And when you lose your main player that early, if you're Singularity after how this game's going, you should be watching main, because Leo, he's everywhere.
I mean, once again, it's another one of these saves from Singularity, right, where they are just trying to hold on to whatever they can, and ultimately that might end up just being this UMP and AWP combination. That's at a push. OC does not want to fall. He's the only man with any stake in this next round.
Is the bomb going to kill him? No.
Chaser is able to upgrade onto an AK, so actually doesn't end up being that bad for Singularity. They can buy up a rifle, 2 rifles, if Chaser wants to drop a FAMAS over. But,
yeah. I've never seen this many CT saves on Nuke, and that's because Sharks are getting so many bomb plants, which is also incredibly rare. Like, the amount of post-plant situations they're getting themselves into so early on is quite impressive, because it's kind of hard to get bombs down on Nuke. Kind of hard to get T rounds usually, but no problem for them. Fast A play, they've had enough of this. They know there's no Molotovs. They're going to go for the quad vent dive again. And look, Singularity, do they even know? Does Singularity even know that the entirety of the enemy team is down on B? Obviously they do. They've heard the footsteps at this point, but it's too late. They've lost the sight. Unbelievable.
I've never seen this.
Get out of my head.
Yeah, man. I've never seen this happen so much.
No.
In a professional game. JNT, I mean, they're just trying to deal with him. He's outside. Guys, the bomb is down. It's ticking, whether you like it or not. And they're just like, fine, you know what? JNT, you can stay here. But as far as I'm concerned, he's already done his job, right? Like, he's held back 2 of these rotations till half the time is ticked off of this bomb. Leo's hiding in a smoke. I don't even know where he is. He's over at ramp. And he's just the fastest man in the world. 3 kills for Leo. And Sharks 10-5.
Wow.
Singularity getting schooled right now. Sharks looking fantastic. And I mean, what a first half. I can't imagine how crazy this second one's going to be. That's coming up after a quick break, so do not go anywhere.
We are back. Half number 2 between Sharks and Singularity. A 10-5 T-side on Nuke. Not what you're going to see every day, but you cannot take it away from Sharks. They have blown Singularity out the water.
Yeah, because that is the Sharks' domain, Hugo. The water is their land.
That's
well,
true.
Our land to them. I don't know how to explain this. But
They
what we
love
see
they
in
love the sea.
land, they see in water. You know, like they look at it with the same adoring eyes as you and I do to nature. And Hugo, we're getting into Nuke, obviously. Sharks looking stellar in that first half. Now they move into their T half, and for me, into their CT half, which is terrifying because, you know, you kind of look at how they're able to dictate the pace over on the T side of things, how they were just able to get off to such a blinding start. Singularity never really finding that groove, never really like sussing out how to put a stop to the momentum that Sharks have built up. And I feel like so much of this now is resting on a knife's edge. Like, this pistol round can decide so much of the outcome in this game. If Sharks pick it up, I feel like, you know, they can just keep that. You can just keep the good times rolling, you know?
Yeah.
The momentum's already built up. Singularity, if they pick it up, they can get back into this. I have no doubt about that, but it is going to be an uphill battle. And so the fast A play, the order of the day for Singularity right now. Floppy, first man in. He was a beast to contend with inside of A, over in the CT half. But J&T, where's this come from? 3 kills inside of the A bomb site, too violent for TV, and now down to the 1v1. He's hungry, he's hunting, and he will get shut down. His eye's bigger than his belly because Sheikh Zula able to pick that up. Singularity get the pistol round.
Nice play from Sheikh Zula to expect that last player to actually hunt him down rather than play the bomb. After such a dominant half, it would make sense to feel the Sharks are pumped up enough to be hunting kills. And Sheikh Zula holds his own, shuts it down, and that's going to be a round for Singularity. Here's the replay. Oh, left, right, good night. Singularity, now this game has started for real, Harry. It's going to be a chance for them to keep it close. Full eco for Sharks. Bit of a ramp setup, bit of a boost. I wonder if that got heard. They did make some noise getting up close, but the Molotov should shield the ears of Floppy. Singularity, early lobby hold just to make sure it's not being crunched and pushed by Sharks, and then they rotate outside. Do kind of what Sharks did in their early T-side rounds of this half. They're going to get little to no resistance. This should likely be a B plant here for Singularity. Oop. Get out of there.
Yeah, that's going to make them pick up the pace. No more sneaking out. But this should just be a clean round, right? And a chance for Singularity to try and build some confidence back into this game, build up some money. There's no investment here from Sharks apart from that one flashbang. Right, I mean, he wants to make some money, and he's got a great chance to do exactly that with this UMP, the one SMG that's in play for Singularity. They post him up near the ramp. And there's $3,000 worth of flesh on the other side of this door.
Is that the black market value, or just your own personal
They're
collection?
the same. I don't buy for any less than black market value anymore. Rather, I'll buy for less any day.
Yeah. Meat's expensive.
I'm a terrible businessman. I'll only pay more than the minimum asking price.
Well, I mean, you want to make sure your flesh is sourced correctly, Harry. What are the 3 most important things you look for in a good batch of flesh?
God.
If you had to review flesh.
I don't know. Can't be too sticky.
Tenderness, stickiness, viscosity.
Yeah, viscosity. It can't be too viscose. That's
Viscous. Viscous. It's not couscous, mate.
Oh, something's gone really wrong.
Yeah, with my flesh.
10-7. You might. I think they make a pill for that, dude. It's fine. Like, problems of the flesh, man. Everyone's had it.
Oh.
But look at this, Hugo. Outside play. Wall of smoke's down. And players getting across. Down into secret they go. A little conga line of Singularity players.
Ooh, wow.
Getting into the back line. Ryan's mid-air when he finds Leo Junkie down towards B. These rotations trying to come in. J&T really does have to try and stop this in its tracks, and you'll hear Decon open. Not quite able to catch the player crossing. Oh, perfect nade, and that's him removed. So, man, advantage picked up now for Singularity as that bomb looks to go down.
Sharks are doing their best not to wait for that bomb to go down. They're trying to take as many early fights as they can, but Singularity finally getting the plant in. The double ramp smoke as well, cutting off both sides. Sharks, what do they do here? Do they go for it? Because no kit, limited util, and they're already bailed in the lobby. Hydrex is hunting, but he might find nothing. Oh, no, he is going to commit to the radio flank. At least it looked like it. Got to watch out. Exit's close by, but No exits will be found for now as Singularity just look to watch this bomb, make sure no monkey business is going on, no one defusing. It will be an 8th round here on the T side. Singularity starting to pull this game back, Harry. It was a dominant T side half for Sharks, but hey, whatever they can do, Singularity can do better.
And I feel like this has to be the round that we're going to see the AWP of Sharks take a position down in secret early on. I feel like if there was ever a time, or just any of these players that have rifles, I feel like if there was ever a time for that kind of decision to come in, it's on the back of Singularity routinely going with these wall of smokes towards outside. There's very little you can do when you try and watch that from the yard. They haven't been too obsessed with Mini or Hell. So in a way, you can kind of afford to take that risk and just stick an extra player down towards B to take those outside fights early. Because we are kind of seeing them falling into the same trap Singularity did in that first half, which is being forced into this very reactive style of CS. Look at this. The shotgun is in the face of Floppy. But that might not matter.
Yeah, double alligator here for Sharks because the low money, of course. It's opening for the Sharks on the CT side down on ramp. But Singularity going to throw a smoke just to keep a player occupied. Leo rotating down vents with his gun as well. He's going to watch a yard play. Hydrex is there. Keep an eye on him. He's pushed all the way down through secret. A play. 3 players just sneak out to Squeaky. That was so surprising I didn't even catch it. OC does get an opening kill. 2 for 2 trades on that A site, and a bomb plant might be able to come in, but JNT will not wait. He'll drop the bomb instead. His teammates come back up through the vent, and it's just him alone defending this package. Hydrex flash is good, but blind shot is better.
And JNT, since getting into this CT half, has really been coming into his own. The hat trick in that round there, going above and beyond and winning the 1v1 clutch to secure an 11th round and break the 3-round streak that Singularity were on. You know, you do still have this buy coming up. If you are Singularity, you've got all the money that you could possibly need.
Krieg Central.
Yeah.
Scope City.
I felt like, you know, Nuke is definitely like a map which lends itself to the Krieg spectacularly. So I can get behind this. Ooh, the aggression. Across the map even, and JNT once again roaring to life with the AWP quickly. The equalizer found. Nak trying to mop up these players towards outside. JNT is really starting to feel a bit claustrophobic here over towards the ramp room. He'll give up ramp and Hell. And this is such a weird round. Like, the T's have heaven, they've got Mini, and it's Sharks, the CT side, trying to come in from Hut. The one defender on A, Exit, sends Singularity packing. Exit shows them the door, and Singularity, well, they'll forego that round. 12-8 now in favor of the Brazilian squad.
Yeah, big shutdown. I feel like at a certain point when you're in that 3-on-3, you know, splitting a Heaven mini play is just the most predictable thing you can do, and Exit was fully ready for it. Not that there are any other options, really. Going down B is a bit of a risk, so, you know, if anything, that 3-on-3 is just so favorable for Sharks because they know they've got Singularity funneled into that A site. Faster play towards Squeaky, and this is how you stop it. Sharks knowing how to deal with a fast Squeaky play is something Singularity certainly struggled with in that first half. Hydrex will get a couple of kills with the PT-50, but nothing more. And that's a double molly Squeaky early, so a lot of damage off of that. Singularity were getting wrecked every single time that the Sharks on the T side were pushing down vents, so nice to see they at least have their own responses for it. And a bit of a pause for Sharks as well. 13-8. 3 rounds away from a win. Singularity had some great T-side rounds to start off this half, but they're going to need a few more.
He had a short tactical pause called on in there. You know, these teams just trying to mull this one over. They know the implications of this round on either side of the equation, right? I mean, if you're Singularity, you're looking at this, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, you're running out of time, you're desperate to try and catch back up. And the chances of doing that haven't eluded you just yet, but the timing, you know, the little window that you've got is fast fleeting because there's money on this CT side building up now. You're not really in that situation where you can just win one round and reset your opponent's economy on the back of it. And that's how you'd love to build back into this game if you are Team Singularity. Setting up towards outside. Smokes now raining on in, and this time...
Ooh.
Oh, I like this. These are the smokes that land deeper. They're going to leave garage open. Sometimes you'll see teams use this to try and get into mini, but actually it looks like they might try and go for a garage play, although maybe regretting that decision. Damage coming through the smoke. J&T going to delete one. And in the end, Singularity just decided to send their remaining 4 players down towards this B bomb site.
Running the gun. And making a lot of noise while doing it. Sharks are going to be able to play for retake here, so it's... You know, Sharks have been so keen at taking fights that Singularity are going to need to use all their util to block out these CTs. And they're going to go through it anyway. No fear. Oh, look at them go. Knack 2. And the trade is there for Sheikh Zola. Always good to keep things in contention. But will he be good enough for the ace? Probably not. He's getting flanked. Exit almost pushing through that smoke as well. Sheikh Zola going to grab the bomb. But 2 players on ramp to deal with. Not an easy situation. He's walking into the gunfire. And Sharks, 14 rounds. I mean, I know they love a gunfight, Harry, but these guys are pushing through smokes in pre-plants. Sharks realizing if they get into a 3-on-3 post-plant, maybe it's going to get a bit rough, so they just opt to not.
I mean, terrorist timeout called on him once again. And justifiably so. There's no money here for Singularity. They're partially investing into this round, so they've got a collection of pistols, some armor behind it, but that really is going to be all they have to hold on to looking into the future of this game. Sharks sat with quite the lead, and also sat, Hugo, in their secret lab chairs. Sit like the pros, feel like the pros, I hear.
You do hear?
I've heard, I've read, I've seen. I came, I saw, and ultimately... I've conquered this one. Here you go. 14-8. Sharks maybe about to do some conquering of their own. Double op set up once again between RCF and J&T. And as mentioned a moment ago, just this partial investment for Singularity. Now 2 smokes. I'm curious where this is going to end up, because that's not really enough to do the wall of smokes towards outside. So instead, this is looking like a ramp rush. The boost tries to get assembled.
Wow.
Nax here, and he's going to save the day. He'll double up. And in comes Leo Drunky for some kills of his own. 15-8. Map and series point for Sharks. 1 round is all it takes.
How on earth does Singularity catch Sharks mid-boosting and Sharks still get away with like a double mow down from Knack, an AWP kill from whoever was boosting, and then Leo finished it off with a double as well? Cannot catch a break. And strong start for Sharks in that round has put them on 15. We've got this Krieg Fiesta back out for Singularity, but it's do or die right now, Harry. 7 rounds in a row for overtime, or they are out of this map. That's a start. Hydrex does find an opening kill towards a yard, so Knack being taken down, but OC responded onto inside of Squeaky. J&T even going to drop vents immediately because they've lost yard after that first pick, and they want to send a player back round to secret. They might not need it because Singularity are bunkered inside of the lobby after losing that next player. Exit going to get aggressive, but just no slowdown for Sharks. They're constantly pushing for kills, constantly getting them. And now it's Floppy fast playing the A site. Didn't realize Leo dropped, and Hydrex now has to clutch it out 1-on-3 on this B.
Yeah, now at least there's no one here. Although, as I say it, J&T dropping into the vents, he peeks this, 100%. He doesn't. Yeah, thinks he's in the smoke. He's not. And actually, that might give Hydrex a fighting chance. They're anticipating that he's somewhere within this bomb site and that he planted in that smoke. Hydrex has since repositioned over onto ramp. Now, the thing that does kind of screw him here is that Molotov still on J&T. They can just isolate him off of these angles. Doesn't even matter because RCF is going to get the kill straight up, and that is Sharks taking a convincing victory here on Nuke. 16-8, a 10-5 T-half to start things off, and just going from strength to strength, they managed to pick it up pretty cleanly there in their CT half.
I've never seen a more entertaining T-side on Nuke at this level. Like, that was so much fun to watch for Sharks. They really showed us some cool things. They had a lot of fast paces. The vent dives consistently. Obviously, that's something that should be getting counted at this level. You shouldn't be getting vent dive by 4 rifles like 3 times and a half. But yeah, really, really fun game of Counter-Strike for Sharks. And that sets me up to want to see a lot more from them this event.
Yeah, I do think one thing though to realize is, you know, even with things like all those like the constant vent dives, for example, is like I think with Sharks, they're not normally a team, even though they're very like hyper aggressive, they're not normally a team who do like that much of the same thing over and over again. I feel like they were like taking some liberties when they realized that Singularity weren't really countering any of this. I feel like we won't see quite the same explosive Sharks as, versus some of the other teams where, the later into the tournament that we get. But it was a great initial showing. And, Leo had a great performance, but we did still have the rest of the team starting to step up, starting to get into it around him. J&T having some massive rounds with that AWP.
Sure.
RCF had some big moments of his own. So, yeah, I think it's a promising sign, at least, for the future of Sharks at the rest of this event.
Yeah. That being said, I feel like I want to see more Singularity on a map that isn't Nuke, because coming into that game, we hypothesized that maybe Sharks had done a little more homework coming into this one, expecting that map to come through in the best of 1 series, and hell, they were right. They certainly looked good. So yeah, moving forward for Singularity, falling down to the lower bracket, but not out just yet. They've got another chance to bounce back and keep their place in the minor here. But of course, Sharks fly forward.
Do they?
Sharks,
they can actually.
They got big old wings.
Essentially,
wings.
to be fair, that is what Finns are. They are the wing of the water world, and Sharks can only move forward. So in a way, you actually were 100% right.
Yeah,
Did you know that Sharks could? I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
I mean, I know how Sharks work. I know how water works, so I can kind of put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, but we could go backwards in water.
I wouldn't use the word fly on purpose.
No, that's true. That's true. But Hugo, let's reflect. Let's learn from what we've seen in the past. NRG 16-5 Team 1 earlier on today to lock in their spot up in the winners bracket. And then we saw Sharks and Singularity do the same.
Yeah, of course. And I'd say expected results all the way through today so far.
Do you have a Group A update for us?
I was trying to work on that right now secretly, but you really throw me under the bus.
Yeah, I have.
It's 10-10 right now, Harry. We got Dust 2 going on between E United and Luminosity, so hey, that's nice and close. I mean, we've talked a lot about how Luminosity are at least exciting here with Lucas, obviously, and with Phelps, obviously, and Bolt, a really fun roster. So that's over on the A stream. Be sure to go over there and check out the rest of that game. We're going to have more Counter-Strike here from the Americas Minor, so join us after the break.